Hey, good morning, and welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe Podcast. I'm your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince. Hopefully, you're having a good morning. You're halfway through the week. It is Wednesday. Another podcast for today. Ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address. And I'm sitting here this morning. Theevildm.com is my website. So I'm sitting here this morning wondering what to talk about. And the idea of a system that I can play, or it's kind of generic enough that I could make my own thing up. While I use Unisystem for a lot of things lately, sometimes you want to have a different type of game to play, or something that's a little bit different. And I have what my friend Sal and I have always notated as gamer ADHD, which means sometimes we just have all these ideas and we want to play different games, and it flows here or there. So, sometimes a generic system is what you really need. And it's easier to take a generic system than rip it out of another system, to be honest. So what came to me is a game system that's been around for some time that most people just kind of throw to the side because of, I don't know, or don't even remember it because it really hasn't been updated in a while as far as I know. And that's Fudge. The freeform universal donated, but actually renamed do-it-yourself game engine. It used to be what it was called. Now it really doesn't, it just calls itself Fudge, as far as I know. Came out in around, I think, 1995, because I have the 10th anniversary edition, and that came out in 2005. As far as I know, that is the most updated book for Fudge, or the book that most people do like to use when they play. So it's very flexible, and it's a generic book, much like how the GURPS system would be. It has no real fixed attributes. It's a skill-driven system, simple action resolution, easy to translate to anything you want to play. It has a section on designing homebrew RPGs, and it has an array of various supplements. Combat is real simple too, and we'll try to go over that. The dice in this game, yeah, you do have to have special dice with the plus, minus, and blank space on it to use it. Though it says you can use just regular d6s, but I found when playing this or using this system, you do need those plus minus dice, and it's not that expensive to grab yourself an entire bag full with different colors of all 4 dice that you need. I have one bag full that I got off of Amazon for about $6, and it gave me 4 sets of 4 dice. So in case I had 4 players, that everybody can have a set of dice. So yeah, so the plus minus is basically how it works. Is that when you roll the dice, you add the dice together or minus the dice, and the outcome is how many points you have towards your goal. So if you roll plus plus space space, that's 2 points. If you roll plus plus minus space or space using blank, that's just 1 point because the minus takes away from the plus. So it's very simple, easy math to do. And when designing a game, the GM can choose what attributes they want in their game to match the genre of the game they're playing. So, for example, if you wanted a modern espionage game, the GM might select things like strength, intelligence, dexterity, and charisma. But maybe in a fantasy setting, they might choose attributes like body, mind, and spirit instead. So it's kind of flexible to that point that it doesn't have a standard. It's a toolbox, so to speak. And as far as skills go, the GM can pick as many as they want. If you're running a minimalist horror game, you might opt for only physical and mental attributes to streamline the gameplay to make it something simple. The skills could be as broad or as narrow as you want them to be, and defined how the GM really wants it. In a post-apocalyptic game that you want to run, you could use skills like survival and mechanics might be broadly defined, while in a sci-fi setting, skills like astrogation and cybernetics might be more narrowly defined and broken down in the game. So you can do it however you want. I mean, you may use a skill for a detective game like investigation, but you might also have one called forensic analysis, which will go hand in hand with investigation, but it just narrows the skill down to something else that a detective would have on a crime scene. So it really depends on how you handle it. It's very flexible. And just kind of thinking about this, a lot of people have asked me about designing RPGs or making your own game. While I haven't made my own game, I did make my own clone of a game for Mazes and Perils. The deluxe edition translated became into its own thing over time, but in reality, it was only really just a mix between Holmes Edition D&D and 1E and my own personal house rules going forward. So it really wasn't my own game. I've always considered it a clone of a game that I just translated into what I thought it would be. So, but this system actually has rules in it, and it guides you through creating your own RPG, because you're looking inside of a toolbox and picking out what tools you want to build with. So you might want to take a look at this because it's a framework system. It's a little bit more flexible and allows you to do whatever you want like a GURPS system, but GURPS has at least, like, if you were building a house, GURPS has the framework of the house already set up, allowing you, the person, to jump in there and finish the house and build it how you want to see. Fudge is more like, okay, I'm going to Home Depot and I'm going to pick up the stuff I need to buy a house. I mean, to build a house. That's more like what Fudge is. So if you are a game designer, this is something you may want to take a peep at, because it does have a lot of good examples on how to build your own RPG. Now, while I don't believe you can use Fudge to build your own RPGs and sell it wise, but you can make it with your friends. Then again, I think you could, because they did make Fate, which is based off of Fudge, and it's basically the same type of system. I'm pretty sure you could probably do something with the license with it. I've never looked into it. In fact, I've never really played it other than in a convention game. Picked up the book right afterwards, and that was about it. Because it was a simple system, it really focuses more on story than anything else. Especially if the GM puts more emphasis on story when building this than on attributes and fighting or stick combat. There's a lot of supplementary material for Fudge that allows you to have different rules when playing the game, allows you to add things to it, and they're all fan based things on the website. Or some of it might be some from the Fudge group themselves, but I don't think they really created quite a bit of things. There are some things. So they do have some adventure modules now that I'm looking, by Grey Ghost Games on their website. So they did do some things, but I don't think they really updated the book. I think 10th Anniversary Edition is the ultimate consideration. Now, if I'm completely wrong, I'm completely wrong here, and y'all can comment away and tell me how I was wrong. But as long as it's constructive correction, as I call it, that's fine. I mean, we all get things wrong, but I mean, it's just something to definitely look into if you want something different to play and you understand how the dice system works and you like building your own games and just pulling things together. This is perfect for you. This is good for a GM that likes to design things but needs the pieces to put the puzzle together. Kind of like doing a puzzle. You get the picture of what you want in your mind, and then this is your toolbox with the pieces to help put it together. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah, why not? Tell me what you think about Fudge. Have you any experiences using Fudge in your games? I don't know a lot of people that even play Fudge, though it has a thriving community online that I could see. Probably not as big as a GURPS community, but I know quite a few people I could see online here that do play it. So, are you one of those people? Tell me in the comments below. Like this podcast if you're on YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube or Spotify. Spotify does have comments, so you just have to have the app. I think you can go to the website and sign in and comment, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly on the app. The Spotify app or the podcast Spotify app, one of the two. If you do have access to that, go ahead and comment away. It'll alert me so I can see your comment and I can read it. Also, if you have the Spotify app, don't forget to rate me on there as well. I appreciate every rate we get on Apple and on Spotify. And I appreciate those that are joining. Tonight is Random Rolls Chat Live on my YouTube channel. So that'll be around 5 o'clock Central Time. Myself and Jeff will be talking about random topics. Starting the night off, see where the conversation goes. The flow of it goes based upon how many people interact with us. Last Wednesday, we had a ton of people interacting with us. The conversation went all over the place. And it was a great time. Everybody had a lot of fun. So who knows what happens this week? Friday, members only fireside chat, where you get to talk to us. We get to tell you what we're doing. You get to give us feedback. And it's just a way for you members for the channel to get something extra. So head over there and sign up. You can support me in various ways. Well, I'm going to head out. Keep it original. Keep it old school. Good night. God bless. Don't forget, there is no drama on this channel, no clickbait, and all gaming. Good night, everybody.